Hi, this is Imaduck doing a Return to Ravinica draft here. Trying to get some practice in. I've done a few of these. They've started out pretty poorly, but I think I'm getting better at this set. It seems much trickier than other sets I've drafted before. Not entirely sure why, but it certainly seems that way, and oh my goodness, nothing like opening a Planeswalker. Okay, so the pick becomes pretty obvious here. Yeah, you know, Planeswalker's absurd and limited. This one is in 2 colors, which is unfortunate, but not that unfortunate. And also, she's worth a bunch of money, I think, so I'll be promptly selling her after this. Other stuff, I actually haven't played the Slum Reaper guy at all, but he seems fine. The Axebane Guardian isn't bad at all, actually. It's, you know, the 3 toughness is kind of meh. 4 toughness is really the magic toughness in this set. That means you can block anything. 3 toughness, you'll block some things, but other things will get through. But still, being able to ramp with it and being able to block some of their 2/2s and stuff is pretty useful. Nothing else, actually, really. I mean, Avenging Arrow is fine. That'd probably be my pick, actually. It's not a great card, but it's okay. Pegasus is, it's playable, but definitely not something you want. Rakdos Rage Mutt, I still haven't figured out where that fits in the pick order. It certainly, like, especially in the mirror, can be a huge, you know, mirror breaker. But yeah, I'm not quite sure, because it is a bit overcosted for what it is, but still, Lifelink is amazing. Alright, so we definitely want to go green-black, because it's, you know, Planeswalkers are just so powerful that, you know, it's definitely what you want to do. Definitely where you want to be. You know, in green-black, of course, you can go with other combinations, too, with that. So, like, green-black-red seems to work fine. Alright, but, that being said, what I've kind of learned about this set is typically, for your first few picks, you probably just want to pick the best card. Especially given here, there's not much that I would want to play in green-black, except maybe Mind Rot, and that's really not insane. So decent cards are like Void Wielder. Doorkeeper is actually better than I thought it would be, mostly because it's an 0/4. But you can even build the Defender Mill deck, isn't too bad, as long as you've got a plan B. But it's really not a bad card. You know, these don't go along with our plan, but there's not much here that does. Lava Crew can be okay. I was actually surprised that this can be pretty good. Maybe I'm just going to go with the Lava Crew. Well, I picked it, but I'm still not sure if that was the right pick. But there really wasn't much in that pack. Grave Betrayal, I've seen sometimes work and be insane, but most of the time it seems way too slow and terrible. I think the pick here is obviously Assassin Strike. Removal is removal is removal. It's very good. There's a Guildgate here, which would be nice for us. Dredge Beetle I actually like a lot. Like, getting a 2/2 for 2 is nice, and then getting extra value out of it is great. Scavenge really does come in handy, especially if you have lots of little dudes to stall with, and then later in the game you turn all your little dudes into big dudes. It's pretty nice. But I think Assassin Strike is kind of obviously the pick. And it's not only is it like unconditional removal, but it's a 2-for-1 on top of that. I mean, you know, you can't go wrong with it. 6 mana for removal spells. A little annoying, but there's actually a lot of 6 mana removal spells in this. Wow. Okay, so this guy's pretty cool, but we're not in blue-white. I think maybe we just want to start forcing these colors here, because getting these 2 cards is pretty good. Lava Crew, obviously, I'm not too excited about, but getting these 2 cards really kind of pushes us to want to be in those colors. That being said, there's Towering Indrik, and there's Brush Strider. I think Brush Strider is the pick here. I like a couple of Indriks in my deck, but there's a lot of 4-drops. They're pretty easy to come by, and he is a common. The Brush Strider, though, is pretty aggressive. Like, if you can play it on turn 2 and they don't have anything to do, he's pretty awesome. Blue-white does seem to be open, though, so that's worth noting if we start getting cut here. But I think for the time being, I'm going to try to force this, which, you know, can be good or bad. So if we want to go green-white instead, there's this guy. There's Vassal Soul. I actually kind of like the Dagger Dome Imp, especially if you can get some ways to pump it in any way. You know, put some +1/+1 counters on it, so mostly like the Scavenge and stuff, he becomes insane. And even without that, the 1/1 Flying Lifelink is actually more relevant than you'd think, just because it can be a little tricky for your opponents to race you with that guy and maybe a couple other guys. So yeah, I'll go ahead and take that. Electrickery is fine, but they're easy to come by. Grim Roustabout, I haven't been as impressed with as I thought I would be. That being said, there's really not much in this pack for us, other than if we go green-white and get a Sunspire Griffin, which I do like green-white a lot. I do like the Sunspire Griffin. Because these other cards are so bad, I'm going to take it just to hedge a little bit, and we'll kind of see where the packs take us from here. Because I'm just really not interested in any of these other colors, or any of these other cards. You know, I haven't played with Rites of Reaping yet, so I think I'm going to take it just because. It seems okay. I mean, it's another 6-cost removal spell, and it only destroys for 3 at that, and its sorcery speed. Maybe it's not as good as I'm thinking. Otherwise, Aerial Predation's good. 4/4s are good. I think I'm going to take the Rites of Reaping, though, anyway, because I think no matter what, we'll end up playing it, unless we get enough other 6-drop removals. Here, it's between Dead Reveler, who's actually quite good. Getting a 3/4 for 3 mana is nice if we're going the aggressive route. A Guildgate, which could be really good if we do end up green-white. So it's kind of like on green-black versus... sorry, so green, black, white, yeah. So like green, black, white versus, well, I think I'm going to take the Dead Reveler. He seems a little better, a little harder to come by than the Gates, although the Gale Gates are very good. Here, there's just nothing at all. I think Cremate is slightly playable because if they have Scavenge guys, it's nice to be able to knock them out, and it, 1 mana cantrips are pretty nice. Here, Armory Guard or Mind Rot. Armory Guard's not bad, and he buys us time for our dude. Otherwise, Mind Rot is pretty solid. It's between these two. I think I'm actually going to take the Mind Rot just because we're not solidly in white yet. So I think it's safer to take the Mind Rot. Then I'll probably play one of. I don't like Grizzly Salvage, just too slow. Though it can be good, I guess, if you have lots of Scavenge guys to dump in your yard. We're not going to play anything else. Actually, I think I'm going to take the Salvage for signaling reasons. Those other cards weren't too amazing. I'll take the Skywatch. Sure. Okay, so interesting first pack. I mean, obviously awesome that we opened this. Hopefully that's what I'll do on the Pro Tours, just open a bunch of Planeswalkers. That's always fun. But, yeah, these other cards, I'm not super excited about anything just yet, but we'll see what we can come up with. Alright, so Annihilating Fire is very good, but I think Stab Wound is just so insane. I mean, it's just a clock. You know, it's a removal spell, but it's also an insane clock, especially if you're kind of like a slow deck that can wall up and all that. Like, you could just sit back and win. You don't even have to attack. You just, there's so many creatures that are like 2/4s or something like that. So then if you put it on their 2/4 and then you don't even attack them, their dude's absolutely worthless, and they gotta hope that you have, there's some way to remove it or whatever. I get so annoyed playing against that card, which means it's damn good. I don't know if this card's any good. It seems a little slow. I think actually the better pick is either Launch Party or Drudge Beetle. I don't know about this card. It just seems so slow. Although, it could be really good if you have a bunch of aggressive cards. I could see this fitting in there. It's just it needs to be enabled, which is a little frustrating. But I guess it also grows. Yeah, that's really close. I think I'm just going to take the Launch Party, though. See where it goes. Although, it might have been worth it just to try that card. Here we see two great cards, Centaur's Herald and Golgari Charm. I think the Charm is a little better than the Herald, though I do like the Herald a lot. I think the Charm's pretty nice. I mean, just all of its modes are relevant. Even the Destroy Target enchantment. It's surprising how many enchantments there are. It's also a Centaur Healer, but we haven't established ourselves in white yet, and we did pass on the Guild Gate. So, I mean, unless we see some other Guild Gates, we have no guarantee we're going to be in white. I think the Charm is just the safest pick. Could be wrong, but I think that's the safest pick. Ugh. No, we're not playing that. 11 mana is infinity. Infinity plus 1, in fact. We'll never cast that. So, this guy's okay, but not great. Apparition's good. Giant Growth is good. Just want a Giant Growth. It's a nice trick. We're a little short on creatures, but I think I'm fine with that for now. So here's the Guild Gate we were waiting for. It's either that or like, well, Electrickery or Splatter Thug. Although we don't even know that we're red either. I think I'm better off just taking the Guild Gate here and seeing where that takes us. Oh, I didn't even see that. No, sorry, never mind. We take the Stab Wound because, again, Stab Wound is just probably one of the most frustrating commons I've seen. It's just a great card. Yeah, that's getting taken. Sorry. Alright. Dead Reveler versus Centaur's Herald. That's a pick I'm not sure about. Right now, we don't really have anything, any populate sorts of things, so that's something to think about. Otherwise, I don't think any of these other cards. I mean, Trestle Troll is fine. Yeah, there's a lot of other playables in here, but I think it's definitely between these two guys. The Dead Reveler is definitely a little more aggressive. I think I'm going to take the Centaur's Herald just because we already have a lot of 3-drops. Even though the Centaur's Herald is kind of a 3-drop, it's still a pretty sweet card that I like a lot. So here, ooh, we get another shot at another Reveler, which we could make ourselves really aggressive with. Yeah, I'm not... The pick order in this set is still really tricky for me. I haven't seen enough white stuff, though. I keep saying that, and then I see the white stuff, and I'm like, oh, but then I want the Guild Gate. I think I'm just going to take the Reveler here. We haven't picked up enough white stuff to where we care as much about the Guild Gates right now. I think here it's between the Crocodile and the Imp, but we already have one Imp. We don't want to load up on too many of those. So Crocodile. Scorpion's quite good. Death Touch, Scavenge. What else could you want? I mean, it's just... Its scavenge cost is so cheap, that's really nice. And the Death Touch is great because then it really helps you fight off other scavenge creatures. Wow, the Horror Wield. I guess nobody wants to try it. It's either that or the Racketeer. I think I'm going to try this, though, because we really don't know if we're red at this point. And I kind of like to try this card. Giant Growth could be alright. Dynacharge is pretty awesome, though. We already have Giant Growth. I might not end up playing either of these, but since I already have the Giant Growth, I'll take the Dynacharge just in case. Okay. I don't think I'm going to play... I mean, I'm not playing any of this. I don't even know why I took that card, but all these cards are terrible. So yeah. So our deck is fleshing out alright. I mean, the double Stab Wound is awesome. The Dead Revelers could be pretty aggressive. I don't know. I haven't built a deck like this. I'm still learning a lot about this format, so it's a pretty interesting format so far. But I think our deck's pretty good so far. I mean, just the double Stab Wound's awesome. We need some more creatures and stuff, and maybe a little more solid plan at the moment, but I think this is alright. Electrickery, like I said, you can always get those, and they're not that great. You really shouldn't run more than one unless you have to. And even one, you could probably just keep it as a sideboard if you have better cards to run. You know, I mean, you can always do little tricks and stuff with it, but it's just not that great. Well, there's a Palisade Giant, which makes me almost want to pop in the white. Of course, there's an Arrest as well, which is easier to splash in white. And then there's a Launch Party. I don't think you want too many launch parties, but you can't really have enough arrests. So if I take this arrest and maybe like Guildgate Wheels, or I find another one, it could be quite good. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Alright. Well, Augur Spree is awesome, but we don't have the red splash yet, and it's getting a little too late for it. Thrill Kill Assassin, I haven't played with this card at all. Seems okay, but not over the top. I think I definitely just want the Centaur Herald here. Just another pretty good dude. And if we get some populate cards somehow in this last pack, that could be good. I'm not too excited. Cackler is quite good. Shriek Freak, or Shred Freak, actually I haven't been as happy with. There's also a Gate Creeper Vine, which actually might be better fixing than this Guild Gate. I think that's what I'll take, especially since I'm trying to get fixing for white, maybe. Yeah, kind of weird to have to pass some fixing for some other fixing. Here, I'm not excited about anything. Maybe another crocodile, but man, my 3-drop slot is so full. It's not too bad to have your 3-drop slot full. Usually I found in this set your 4-drop slot fills up, so yeah, this isn't bad. I mean, I think, well, we'll see what happens with this deck. Judgment, another Centaur's Herald. Okay, so we're getting too many of those. I wish I'd taken, well, we don't really need another Dead Reveler either. With 11 creatures, I could see maybe taking a third Centaur's Herald. I mean, they're pretty good. Maybe that's too many. It's either that or the Judgment here, but we don't even know if we're splashing white yet. We have 1 mana fixer. And we have a decent amount of removal. Yeah, I think having a number of heralds actually isn't too bad. We'll see if that bites us in the ass later, but here, Sentry if we do splash the white, but I kind of don't want it. But then what else am I going to take? The Archweaver. We said we're definitely not splashing red. The Weaver might actually make it in. He's not very good, but we'll see. It's just a little overcosted. You know, 7 is close to infinity. Here, there's really nothing. We'll take a Tavern Swindler. It's not too bad. I mean, just as a 2/2 for 2. Not the best, but not too bad. I think we don't have much defense in the skies, so I think the Trestle Troll has to end up in here. I don't like Trestle Troll, but, you know, there's a good chance. Speaking of that, ooh, Guildgate or Indrik? Oh, I think I have to take the Guildgate here because it enables, well, just my arrest, but I think that's still fine. Here, I'm not excited about anything. Perilous Shadow might get played. Ooh, Guildgate comes back around. Can't complain about that. Skullrend is terrible and also bugged online. I don't know if they fixed it, but before it was only making you discard 1 card, which seems like a pretty huge bug. You would think they would have caught that. I almost want to just leave it in there for somebody to play it, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. Alright. Nothing exciting here. Take another bugged Skullrend. I'll take a Bellows Lizard. Hey, people can play the Skullrend if they want. Turns out that card becomes much, much worse. It's already pretty bad, but it becomes much, much worse when it's only discard 1 card. It's like the worst Lightning. Yeah, I think we needed some more dudes to kind of flesh out this deck better. Maybe could have done some picks differently. Like, I'm really still learning this, but I think we were in okay colors. You know, definitely Azurius could have been open at the beginning, but we really want to play our Vraska or whatever. And hey, we already won the Planeswalker lottery here, so that was pretty sweet. Alright, yeah, I'm going to try the triple Centaur's Herald. Why not? See what it does. Maybe too much, but I think it's fine, especially if we're kind of going somewhat defensive and we just want to draw our bombs and stuff. Like, we're kind of more control-y. We've got a ton of removal and all that. So, I mean, I think my plan is to remove a lot of their dudes, play my bomb, and go off. I'm going to try the Cryptborn Horror, I think. Not sure if I'm playing all of these yet, but we'll see. Dead Reveler, yeah, that's probably fine. It's a little more aggressive than I'm trying to be, but it's okay. And yeah, I think the 1 arrest is fine since we have the Guildgate. So now we just have to make a cut. Probably a 3-drop. Maybe Mind Rot? Because we have 15 creatures, so cutting a creature is open. And I think I'm just going to cut the Tavern Swindler, because it's not very good. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, I think it's an interesting deck. Maybe not as strong as I'd like, but it's still pretty good. Let's pile everything by color, add land, suggest, yeah, one plane seems fine, not one mountain. Moto has never figured out, oh, the double mana cards, it doesn't mean you have to run both types of mana. Like, it really wouldn't take much for them to fix that in their coding, for it to detect when you just have a double color card that you're running for one color. But, you know, Moto is horribly coded, so that's the way it is. Yeah, we do have a lot of black stuff. 771, which is really 981, and I think it's fine to run a little more green than black, just because our one fixer is in green, so it can help us then find the other one. 981, yeah, and we have to be over on one of them, so I think it might as well be green. Running the one planes is maybe questionable since we have a way to search it up, but I hope that won't hurt us too bad. It'd be hard to get a really too awkward of a draw here. Alright, well, we'll see how this goes. This is an 8-4, so unfortunately single elimination. I mean, fortunately, unfortunately, whatever. I wanted to see kind of what the competition was like and all that, but I would like to test these decks as much as possible. Anyway, I'll see you in round 1.